Once again, this is Reverend Jones, your pastor, and we've come this morning during this pandemic to really try to encourage you once again before we all this thing together. And this morning I was thinking about coming to you from the 23rd Psalms and part of the 27th Psalms. And before we do that, let me say a word of prayer before we give you the subject. Our Father and God, we thank you as we've come in this time of our trouble that you are here by our side. We ask, oh God, that you will look upon all those that are in this part of our viral pandemic, that you will be able to bless us in all the ways that we need to be blessed. We ask now that you look upon not only us, but all the people of the world, for all belongs to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. As we come this morning, we want to speak to you from the 23rd Psalms. It's familiar to all of us when we go to the Psalm when we need help. But I wanted to say the subject this morning is don't panic. Don't panic. In the 23rd Psalm, it starts off and says that the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. In this, we should look to God, who is our helper, knowing that a shepherd is one that watches over, one that protects, and one that keeps us. As we have come this morning to share this word with you, we hope that you have open hearts and to believe that the God that we serve are able to do exceedingly abundantly more than we are able to ask or think of. David said that Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. In this time of trouble we find now that even though we are going through, we don't want for anything. That God has supplied all of our needs according to his riches and glory. And then the second verse says, he maketh me to lie down in green pasture. He leadeth me beside the still water. The still water means that when everything else seemed rough and everything else seemed to go wrong, that God take us and give us peace. Even though the water might be rough, God takes and lead us beside the still water to make us be strong. The third verse says, he restores my soul. In this last week or so, our soul, our bodies, our mind have been distorted. And there are times I think that we wanted to give up. But he said he restores my soul. And even though we have religious leaders and we have those that are on the internet that are taking advantage of God's people and taking advantage of the homeless, he said, God restores my soul. He leads us in the path of righteousness. Even though we have an opportunity to do what other people do, we are trying to do what is right because we are God's people. And he does it not for us so much, but he does it for his name's sake. And that's the part that I think that I want you to really look forward to. He said, yea, though I walk to the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff that comfort me. Isn't it good news to know that even though we walk to the valley of the shadow of death, that even though we may be around folks that have this coronavirus, that the Lord keep us and the Lord take us. And he said, though you walk to the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for God promised never to leave us nor forsake us. He said, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And we know that a shepherd have a rod that if you go too far to the edge, he can pull you back. You got a staff, he can guide you in the right direction. And this is the part I like, because even though everybody is not going to follow the rule, even though everybody is not going to do right, the fifth verse says that thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemy.